We love hip
I
hop.
want to say R.I.P. to Lil Bentley. All right, he was the individual young man who passed away or who got murdered about 7 months ago over in the Yorkdale parking lot. It was about 6 a.m. where he got murdered. Um, from what I remember from the news story, they were saying that somebody was getting off of a bus or he was waiting near the bus station and he ended up getting murked, okay, or murdered. And again, RIP to him, condolences to his family. There was somebody that they put on the BOLO list, the be on the lookout list, who was basically public enemy number one. He was number one on the BOLO list. And they finally caught up to this gentleman here, or I don't want to call him a gentleman because he's out here allegedly murdering people, but they caught up to this individual. So let's go through this whole thing because this is like Montreal lore mixed up with Toronto lore. Everybody who's connected into these stories are all connected with Toronto people and vice versa. So it's a tango web that has gotten weaved. So let's start with the original news story from 7 months ago. Witnesses heard multiple gunshots in fatal shooting outside Yorkdale Mall.
Still underway here at Yorkdale Mall, some 11 hours after this shooting actually happened, around 6:13. That's when police say they got the first calls into 911 about gunfire here outside of Yorkdale Mall, just outside of entrance 3. About half an hour later, this man in his 20s was pronounced dead here at the scene. A video posted to social media actually shows kind of the flurry of first responders first arriving here just minutes after this shooting happened. Multiple ambulances, a big police presence, fire trucks here as these first responders worked to save this man's life. Unfortunately, they were not successful in doing so. His body was under black tent for much of the day as forensic investigators and the homicide squad detectives really tried to piece together all of the evidence in this case. One of the witnesses that our Arda Zakarian spoke to earlier this morning, a construction worker who was here at the scene when the shooting happened, described hearing anywhere from 6 to 10 shots. And I can tell you there were 6 evidence markers laid down on the ground by police in the general vicinity of entrance 3 where this shooting happened. If you're watching us at home and you're familiar with Yorkdale, entrance 3 on the northeast side of the mall, right next to the Indigo store, that's where this man's body was found. As for detectives, their message in this homicide very different than the one at the homicide where Melissa and Steve at, that one appearing potentially to be random. This one, police adamant, was a targeted homicide. Here's more from the detective who talked to us earlier this morning.
The shooting took place outside entrance number 3 in the parking lot area. That's what I can tell you.
And did believe it was targeted?
At this point in time, the investigation is in its early stage. What I can tell you is that it is not a random shooting.
Within the hour, Lena and Bakari, I was standing here at the periphery of the scene. We've been pushed back by Yorkdale security, but I watched as 2 vehicles were put on a police flatbed tow truck and taken from the scene. One appeared to be a silver minivan or SUV. The second, I believe, was a blue Honda Civic on the back of that police tow truck. These 2 vehicles now seemingly being taken for further forensic investigation. Their connection to this homicide not clear at this point. Did one of them belong to the victim? Police did not say if the victim was inside a vehicle when he was shot. His identity also not released. Also, we don't know how many suspects police are looking for. They put out no suspect description whatsoever. One person, multiple people involved. Was there a getaway vehicle? Still a lot of things we don't have answers to at this point, but the investigation.
So basically, at the time, this is when they didn't know who was the victim in the shooting. But because we have our ear to the street a little bit more, and then once you start releasing government names and different things like that, we found out that this person was Lil Bentley, right? And salute to anybody who knew about Lil Bentley's music before. All right. Ooh, this might be another video because I always use the same video.
Yeah.
Right, so this is a different one that I could use as a reference. Bloodshot times Icy the Zoe and Lil Bentley, Free White Ghost. So this is a bilingual tune.
This will Mike. On fait du temps préventif, tout ça pour éviter le peine. Je sais que tu t'inquiètes pour ton fils, même c'est juste ça qui me fait de la peine. J'en connais beaucoup qui pissent quand ils entendent les...
Niggas is floating in French still. I ain't mad at it.
Avec moi sur la piste, impossible qu'il y a pas d'ailleurs. On champion il faut 7.
Niggas got real guns in the video. What the fuck?
J'ai fuck la quarantaine, j'entends plus de maison.
We trapping at the spot. OGC just pull up on your block, the nigga better stop. 30 toes, 30 bands, bitch, I'm back up on the road. Keep a pole, stay on go.
This must be Ice Dizo.
I teach my youngest how to roll. 43, fuck a bitch, them niggas know we in the shit. Free the gang, fuck a snitch, that nigga.
He said 43.
I teach my youngest how to roll. 43, fuck a bitch, them niggas know we in the shit. Free the gang, fuck a snitch, that nigga know we let it rip.
Ma jeunesse pas facile, j'irais plutôt un enfer. Je te jure, j'ai fait de la prison aussitôt que j'ai eu l'âge d'en faire.
They're saying some shit in here, right? Because like fucking this 43 gang or whatever is like a gang in Montreal. And I'm waiting for my ChatGPT to refresh. I'm gonna probably open another window for ChatGPT because this is pissing me off. But I need to get a little bit more information on who this 43 gang is. Let me keep it playing.
Ma mission, mais c'est fucked up quand t'es en guerre. Depuis l'âge de 14 ans, je vais voir Domi au cimetière. Le premier qui dit suspect, je le fous une boulette dans sa chair. I don't give a fuck, je fais l'avocat, je sous mon tiers. Avec sur la chaudière, je peux te montrer comment.
Niggas is getting at the ops in French.
Fuck a bitch, I was selling dough. I was young and trying to hit it lit. Young and trying to.
This is Lil Bentley.
Young as they don't go, you was probably trying to fuck a bitch. I was selling dough, I was young and trying to hit it lit. Young and trying to score, we got caught with a dirty stick, I'm yelling free to bro.
Nigga, listen, I seen real niggas fall when it was time to bet.
This is Lil Bentley, my bad.
You want a meal, dog, but you ain't start grinding yet. Your girl tryna fuck, dog, I got no time for sex. Or the top either, but I don't mind the check. Look, I do this shit for real, and I don't need a deal. And if I catch a pussy nigga, then he getting killed. And you ain't gotta ask, boy, you know I keep it still. And it's been a drill. Yeah, I'm a block boy, and I'm walking with that
So I'm pulling up some more information.
boy. And I might just go and cop a fucking silencer, cause I don't like the talk, boy. So just imagine when I go and do a drop, boy. Or when I get a drop. Pussy nigga run up on me and you getting shot. I had to say that shit again. I ain't into getting friends, my nigga, I'm just getting ends. Pull up in.
Let me put a like on this shit. Even though they're talking some oppie shit, they're going in. 1.3 million in 4 years. This is probably a banger in Montreal, bro. Holy. So there has been updates as far as, like I told you, the person who they feel is responsible for Lil Bentley's murder.
Turning to some other stories we're following for you today. Police have released images of 2 suspects wanted on Canada-wide warrants in a deadly shooting.
So this is when he was wanted still.
In the parking lot of Yorkdale Mall last month. 23-year-old Brian Emmanuel Fuentes Gramajo of Quebec and 28-year-old Jimmy Prudent of Montreal are wanted for first-degree murder. A third suspect, 20-year-old Bradley Luke Nicholas, was arrested on Monday in Quebec and charged with first-degree murder. 28-year-old Kashif Jamal Bentley Jean was gunned down in the parking lot of the mall just after 6 a.m. on July 17th. Investigators say the shooters fled the area before officers arrived on scene. Anybody with information is asked to call police.
So they probably, and let me just find the more current news story as far as the arrest. And they should have the most recent one because I did pull up some information on him. I do have an article I'll pull up in a second. Actually, let me pull that up now because they did have some stuff that I found on Reddit. Okay. And big salute to everybody who's popping up into the chat right now. This is the gentleman over here, Brian Fuentes Gramajo, all right, 44 tray 43 Bloods ont finalement été arrêté après 9 mois on the run en connexion avec le meurtre de Lil Bentley 43. So they're both from the same district. I don't know if they're part of the same gang, but also blood for the B over here. En juin dernier, so last June, il y a avant 100,000 sur la table pour la capture de Brian, sorry. Et c'était le fugitif le plus recherché au Canada. All right, so he was the most researched, or he was public enemy number 1, most researched criminal in Canada. All right, they had 100,000 on the table. Finalement, he was finally stopped after 9 months. Is basically I don't know if I have to translate this shit to y'all. Okay. But they gave a little bit more details on these gangs and who these guys are. This is courtesy of MT Hell, where I get some of my Montreal news. Okay. I found a news story over here I can present to you guys. It gets deep, yo. Montreal got a lot of politics, but like I said, a lot of their politics intertwine with over here. When I reported on Lil Bentley when this first popped off, I remember playing the first music video, and the other music video had Pressa in the video and stuff like that. So, and I'm not trying to like be federal Rick or anything like that. I'm just saying mans are very connected with each other. So Montreal police, let me find a longer news story on this here. 2 suspects. We'll go with this one here. Volume.
Shopping center last summer has been arrested. The man at the top of Canada's most wanted list in connection to a fatal shooting near Yorkdale Shopping Center last summer has been arrested in Montreal. And Toronto police say 24-year-old Brian Fuentes Gramajo was picked up by Montreal police around 2:40 this morning. There was a reward of up to $100,000 for information.
Brother, you have $100,000 reward on your head from the police, Canada-wide. You're from Montreal. You're dealing with some Montreal politics, and they find you in Montreal. Something doesn't add up, bro. Like, do you not realize that you're on the run?
Leading to his arrest. And Gramajo is facing a first-degree murder charge in the shooting of 28-year-old Kashif Jamal Bentley Jean. This is in the Yorkdale parking lot last July. He was named Canada's most wanted fugitive in October, topping the list of 25 suspects. Well, the man at the top of Canada's most wanted list.
Right. So, yeah, they got him. There's a few more things that I have on this. Like, bro, it never ceases to amaze me how many of these guys that I've seen on the run over the years get caught either in the greater area of wherever they're from or like literally in the city where they did the murder. Like, bruh, these guys, like, you got to figure out how to run better, fam. All right. So Montreal police arrest Canada's most wanted fugitive accused of murder in Toronto. Montreal police say Canada's most wanted fugitive, an alleged gang member from Montreal, was arrested Thursday morning. Brian blah 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 was wanted by Toronto police in connection with the murder in July 2025. Giango. Hold on. Why did this just move? Okay, was allegedly a member of Zone 43, a street gang from Montreal with connections to Ontario and British Columbia, was arrested in Montreal, Rosemont, La Petite Patrie borough around 240. Rosemont, what is that area? Rosemont, is that like Montreal North, I think? He was scheduled to appear in court in Montreal on Thursday afternoon. The SPVM is pleased to have contributed to the criminal investigation led by our partners and the Toronto Police Services by arresting Brian Fuentes in our jurisdiction, said Melanie Dupont in the news release, blah, 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 blah. He was also among the suspects from a Montreal area wanted in connection with his murder. Bradley Letout Nicholas was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in August. Jimmy Prudent remains wanted by Toronto police. And I guess this is the Jimmy Prudent guy. His arrest means Bolo's most wanted once again is Al Bovin. So I guess he bumped another nigga off the list once he became the number one, and now that guy's back to number one. Damn, and this guy's another Montreal guy, right? Man wanted in connection with a drug trafficking case dating back to 2021 in Saguenay, Brossard, Quebec. That's where I'm from. I'm from Brossard. That's wild. These niggas be getting it in. Pause. Yeah, so as far as like this whole Zone 43 thing, I tried to pull up some information on this just out of nosiness, right? They already got whoever they feel it is, he's going to have to deal with this trial and stuff like that. So we ain't solving no cases over here. for any of those people who might be watching. Fortray or 43 usually refers to the Fortray, which is a name used by certain Crips street gang sets originally in Los Angeles. The meaning can change depending on the city or context, gang, rap, crew, or slang. Who is Fortray? Let's ask ChatGPT who Fortray Montreal is. Here we go. In Montreal, when people say Fortray, they're usually referring to Zone 43, a street gang based in Montreal Nord. Like I told you, Montreal Nord. They say the slang in Montreal. Zone 43 is a street gang linked to the Montreal Nord area. His name is reportedly comes from STM Bus Route 43. Interesting. About 43. Known as a red aligned gang in the Montreal street politics, so I guess they're bloods, like I showed y'all before. Police, drug trafficking, all that type of shit. Rivalries. Okay, let's get to rivalries. Profit Boys, Profit Collectors, PK, based in Rivière de Prairie. Two groups have been linked to several shootings and retaliation incidents since 2019. Expansion outside of Montreal. Okay. Networks outside of Quebec. There's an article that probably gives me a little bit more information. Interesting. And what does it want to say over here? Just so we could do our due diligence. Expansion outside of Montreal. Police investigators have also linked members of the group to trafficking operations outside of Quebec, including arrest in Vancouver, where drugs, guns were seized. Connections to music. Like many Canadian street groups, some of these members' affiliates appeared in Montreal rap videos and local drill scene using 43 or Fortray references in the lyrics and visuals. Well, goddamn, bro. Y'all niggas can't get away with shit. Listen, I'm not going to say ChatGPT is giving me all the information, because obviously, if you really want to do your due diligence on ChatGPT, there's actual like articles that will take you to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just clicked on one of the articles or one of the websites. So you can go a little bit more in depth, but listen, bro, this is where we at right now, fam. Damn. ChatGPT got these niggas in a chokehold, bro. You put anything in there, and if they can find all that information on your gang, whether it's true or false, you fucked. Y'all niggas ain't getting away with shit. It's Friday. Check Rock, boy, whoever that is. Oh, Rockboy did do a video on it. I'll go check. Let's do to Rockboy Ninja, and then we'll move on to our next story. Man, say whoever that is. We're doing a peaceful 2026. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep my rants only channeled at the people who need to have the rants. So he did a story on this. Canada's most wanted fugitive arrested for shooting a Lil Bentley, or rapper Lil Bentley. Let's see what he got to say.
What's good, YouTube? Back with another one. Before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. But let's get right into it. So Canada's most wanted fugitive, Brian Fuentes Gramajo, 23, has been arrested in Montreal on Thursday and charged in connection with the shooting death of 28-year-old rapper Lil Bentley, who was shot and unalive on Thursday, July 17, 2025, outside Yorkdale Mall entrance number 3 at around 6, according to the outlet. Bentley was allegedly beaten while behind bars at Montreal Correctional.
Okay, here we go. Here's some.
Another Blue Aligned gang from Montreal West Island. That's according to the report. The rapper was approached by one or more individual who opened fire. Life-saving measures were initiated, but he died at the scene. The rapper allegedly had a falling out with another Blue Aligned gang from Montreal West Island, the Rolling 90s, after he and others allegedly kidnapped one of their leaders in the trunk of a car, according to the outlet. Bentley was allegedly beaten while behind bars at Montreal Correctional Facility in April of 2023. The rapper shared a video of the beating on social media. At the time of his death, rapper Lil Bentley had been wanted on an arrest warrant since 2023 for breach of conditional sentence, police told the outlet, adding that he had believed to be in the Toronto area for 2 years. Bentley had several criminal records in Quebec, including several breaches of court orders. In 2015, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison for firearm possession, dangerous driving, and fraud. Police have alleged that Fuentes Gramajo is a member of the Zone 43 gang, which is based in Montreal, but has strong connection to Ontario and BC. Gramajo was arrested without incident at 2:40 a.m. with the SWAT team because he was considered dangerous. Now, this is what police had to say about Gramajo's.
WOLO works because it's not just partnering police agencies, it's partnering with the community as well. You don't make it to number one of BOLO's top 25 for stealing a car. You're at the top of this list because we believe you pose a serious threat to any person and any place where you may be. Brian Fuentes Gramajo fits that bill. Quite often, the charges we lay paint a very narrow picture of the crimes committed. In this case, it's first-degree murder. On the surface,
I remember this press conference. Let's fast forward a bit.
I believe he's a member of a Montreal-based gang called Zone 43. Journalists here in Vancouver may be familiar with this gang because even though it operates
Hold on. Starter Pack wants to know who are those mans in the back. They're not mans, bro. They're all police officers with those masks that you put on that have like other faces on the mask. Okay? So they're all just wearing these masks. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger. They're all just wearing these masks with the fugitives' faces on them. Right? This is the Brian Treverho guy or whatever his name is, right? Hold on. Let me put my thing on the screen. This is the Brian guy. Right? This is some other guy. This is some Somali guy. There might be a white guy behind this mask for all we know, but they'll probably put a black guy just to keep it correct. You know what I'm saying? But they all got like masks of the fugitives on. It's a mod thing.
primarily in Ontario and Quebec. It has tentacles on this side of the country as well. We know their members have committed crimes here, and we know they've hidden out here. We are acutely aware that of the number of places Brian Fuentes Gramajo may be, Vancouver is one of them. And that, in our eyes, puts your community, or any community he may be hiding at risk.
For the arrest of Gramajo, another man, Bradley Nicholas, 20 of Montreal, was also arrested last August and was charged with first-degree murder in connection to the shooting death of Lil Bentley. Police are still currently searching for another suspect. Jimmy Prudent, 28 of Montreal, remains outstanding and is wanted for first-degree murder. Now, according to the report, Lil Bentley was also reportedly close to the Zone 43 gang, so I'm guessing it must have been some kind of backdoor situation where he did something wrong and the gangs decided it's time to get rid of him. Now, I have no knowledge, I have no information. That's just my opinion. Y'all can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think about Canada's most wanted fugitive getting arrested?
Okay, so we could stop there. I'm gonna have to agree with Rockboy right there. I think it might be in a backdoor thing because from what we learned from our online research or our live research right here, we're seeing that they were both part of the same gang. This is according to Empty Hell, the Reddit page. They're both part of the same gang, and that kind of makes things tricky. This is why, for all the kids out there, don't join a gang. It doesn't just mean, oh, I'm joining a gang, now I can make some more money, be able to get some more bitches, whatever your motives are for trying to join a gang. No, it means now you're loyal to the gang, and if you do something that the gang deems disloyal, guess what? You dead. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I'm sure people are organized as much as they can be, but whoever's making that decision-making process of, oh, this guy's got to go, you might not respect that decision. Like, what do you mean? Why does he get to decide that my life has to be taken? You know what I'm saying? Did you guys do some kind of vote? Did you get a unanimous decision on my life being the one that needs to be taken right now? These are all the cons of joining a gang. I'm not saying even for all you guys out there who might be, it's hard to get by, shit is rough, gas is going out the roof. I ain't even saying don't hit the block, but don't join a gang, fam. Because if you join a gang, bro, you might be hitting the block, getting the most money. And then they decide that they didn't like something that you did, bro. And then you're off this earth, bro. So, RIP to Lil Bentley. I don't know if I have any follow-ups to do on this story right here. But listen, RIP and condolences to his family, man. And I don't know if we'll keep you updated on what's going on with this guy's case, because to be honest, he ain't even a rapper, bro. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.